nurse for 5 years. I was a musician for many years, and it was time to switch careers. And I realized that I had to do something that would help other people. Otherwise, I just wouldn't get out of bed and go to work. I had a couple of really good friends who were nurses, and I had a lot of respect for what they were doing. And I decided to go back to school to become a nurse so that I could help other people and do something that makes some sort of change in the world. This is kind of a weird one that stuck with me. When I was a nursing student, one of my first rotations, I had a couple of female nursing student peers with me, and we had spent the day, we were supposed to take care of this man in his 60s who had had a stroke, and he was pretty gruff with all of us, didn't really want a lot of help from us, and it came time to give him a bed bath. And we came in, and he kicked us all out, kind of cussed at us, very gruff guy. And then at one point he said that he would accept the bed bath if I gave it to him, which confused me at first. I wasn't really sure what the motivation was. So I came in and I started giving the guy the bed bath. And at one point he looked at me and he said, "I'm not trying to be rude to you guys, but when those two young female nursing students come in, it reminds me of the fact that that part of my life is over and will never come back." And it just touched me in this way. We connected around that. And I just thought it was really amazing and brave that he was willing to tell me that. And it was just a very real thing that made me realize that there's so much that we do in the hospital that is concentrated on things other than really working with the person on where they need to be worked around. 10 years ago, I would have given you a very peppy, like self-actualizing sort of answer. And what I'm realizing now is that I'm a human being who is struggling mighty with many, many things. And that's hard for me sometimes. But what it's made me realize is that we're all human beings that are struggling with a lot of things. And that's made me realize that I should have more compassion and more empathy for other people. Because even though I'm not struggling with what someone else is, they're not struggling with what I am. And right now I'm just trying to embrace the fact that I don't completely know how to be a human being, but I'm trying. And that's how I identify right now. I haven't had a lot of close people to me die, but I had one relative die tragically at a pretty young age. And I wasn't that close to him, but I saw how it affected the people around him. And I really wished that he had done some things differently so that things were a little more tidied up when he left from an emotional standpoint. And it made me realize that I need to do the same thing. And I've always thought about that since that happened. I feel like what I can learn from that experience is that one of the worst things is for you to go away and not have said the things that you want to say. I think being healthy means learning who you really are and being that person, even if that means that you have to be on the fringes of society or the fringes of societal norms. I think being healthy is being who you are, even if that's a weirdo or an outcast or whatever it is in the eyes of other people. Laughter is one of my favorite things. I laugh a lot. I think that laughter sometimes is a protective mechanism for me. I think sometimes laughter is a way for me to connect with others. If I'm laughing, I feel like whatever I'm doing in that moment is what I'm supposed to be doing in that moment. I have a lot of respect for my mother. She's been through a lot of stuff, and she just keeps putting one foot in front of the other. And there's been a lot of times that I've thought